Yo, welcome all sports fans, YouTubers and Facebookers all across the nation. Hey, we are here inside the paint, in the paint, my man Red. And it's our first ever episode, so we about to get it cracking. I got my man Shelton Woods from Gaming Uneducated. Like I said, this is only the beginning. We got Gaming Uneducated. My man's doing this game show. Tell me a little about your show.
So on Gaming Uneducated, it's part of the Uneducated Network.
That's right.
We're going to be doing Let's Plays, walkthroughs, reviews on every hit game coming out 2017.
That's right. I like that. And of course, this is the show In the Paint with Red. I got my man Devontae Roan, a.k.a. Red. Red, tell him about what he got in store for this episode and more.
Oh, man, we got so much in store, man. Free agency just hit, baby, and it's going down.
It's going down. That's right.
Yes,
Well, look. To start it off, the biggest trade of the season, everyone thought that Chris Paul came in for the Rockets and it just changed the landscape of the Western Conference. Not so fast, my friend, from Lee Corso's per se. Paul George comes in and gets a mega deal. He is part of the Oklahoma City Thunder now. It is crazy. I want to get you guys' take on Paul George going to the Thunder. How you feel about that? Start off with Red first.
I feel pretty good about it. It's finally now that Westbrook has somebody that can, be a sidekick or be a help. You know what I'm saying? With him doing everything last year, averaging triple-double, obviously that's one of the greatest players to ever play the game. But now he has help. And that can at least make him contend for at least almost a title. Not really a title, but, it'd be able to contend in the Western Conference. That's what I think about it. But it's a good trade. I like it. It helps out the league, and mostly it's like everybody's trying to stack up to get better. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to go after All-Stars, and that's what they need to do. You got to do it. So they got to make it happen. So I like the trade, but I still think they can get better. I still think the Oklahoma City Thunder organization can get better. That's what I like about it.
All right, Mr. Sheldon Woods, what's up?
I feel this trade for Paul George, it was not such a wise move because you're only getting a one-year rental because the man already came out and stated he's going to L.A. anyway. Now, it's good competition for the West, though. It is a good trade for the West. The West is stacked as it's ever been in the past 10 years or so. You got the Timberwolves coming up. You got the Thunder. You got the Rockets, who just got my man CP3. Rockets all day. You got the Warriors and the Spurs. And, we got to see what the Clippers are going to do. That's a wait-and-see kind of move right there. But they traded Paul George away for a bag of chips. That's it. You telling me Victor Oladipo and some no-name are worth an all-star like Paul George, who's proven he can lead his team and go toe-to-toe with LeBron, even though he choked some of those games away, he still went toe-to-toe with LeBron James.
How do you feel about on Indiana's side? Like, what were they thinking of just sending Victor Oladipo and Sabonis to the Pacers? Like, what were the Pacers thinking? Do you know what's going on?
I really can't say what they was thinking, but it's not worth anything. I mean, you're basically giving up your all-star for no names, and it's like how they're supposed to help your team. And yes, now since you have them now, you have to be in rebuild process until you be able to land another all-star. You know what I'm saying? It's just like getting putting something in and you're not getting nothing in return. You know what I'm saying? I gave you my all-star for basically nothing. And it's just like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? That's not good for
what are the Pacers thinking? Like, I don't
they
know
weren't
myself.
thinking. That's the problem. I don't know what their GM was doing. But Boston, you could have tried to capitalize on that deal. I know that fell apart, but you should have materialized something. They got too many assets and picks. Crowder and Avery Bradley would have been better than getting Oladipo, Victor, and some no-name, right?
Yeah, Sabonis.
You could have sent him over for Kevin Love from the Cavaliers. That's also something better than what you got back. I tell you where it was smart, the business end for the Thunder. You gave away Victor's contract, that huge contract to the Pacers. So now you out of that loop, and you're going to have some cash come free agency to try and get another stud in there with Westbrook, and hopefully you can bring back George for another year.
There we go.
That sounds good.
That's Paul. Well, do you think, before we get off the topic, does that make the Thunder the third best team in the West? Do they leapfrog the Rockets? How do you guys feel about that, Red?
I can't say that they're gonna leapfrog the Rockets, but I really think it's gonna be a very competitive series if they do go head to head in a playoff series. I say about second round they should be matching up against each other, and it's gonna be a great series. And man, I'm thinking 7-game series, and with them two All Stars versus the other two All Stars, it's gonna be one hell of a series, and I like it. I mean, I say the top four. I think they're gonna be out of the top. They're gonna be out of the top four. I think out of the Warriors, Spurs, Rockets, Thunder. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, what about you?
You know, I feel like Paul George is going to help this team get more wins, but we got to see how him and Westbrook are going to gel. I still pencil this team in as the 5th seed in the West. It's just too stacked right now, and we got to wait for the season to start to see how basketball is going to play out.
Right.
Well, with that, okay, well, you're saying about the gelling part. Because there's still a lot of rumors about Chris Paul and James Harden, if they can, how they gel together, because they both kind of need the ball to go. How you feel about how that's going to gel out between those two?
I think it's going to be kind of hard, but at the same time, they're going to have to either that or they're just going to lose. I mean, you have to come together as one in order to be successful. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be like, okay, I want the ball. No, I want the ball. No, you need the ball. No, I need y'all to figure out what y'all going to do. And y'all need to get yourselves together so where we can run this team efficiently so we can at least contend with the Warriors.
That's a good point you made, Red. I agree with you. Another thing is it's going to be a lot of give and take between Harden and Paul. They both got to learn to share the basket and not ball hog, especially on James Harden's end. He needs the ball to create opportunities for himself. He's got to understand Chris Paul can create him some better opportunities that he couldn't necessarily gain on his own. Chris Paul, he can slash, but he also likes giving his teammates opportunities. How many times has he been in the top 5 in assists? He likes to play team ball. Right. He's not hero ball. He likes to kick out. It's going to be a lot of lobs. It's going to be a lot of assists. And James Harden's going to get a lot of open threes, which he likes to take a lot.
Right. So all right. So you're saying does James Harden does he have to sacrifice more, or does Paul have to sacrifice more?
You know, I feel like it's going to be a little both. But James Harden will need to sacrifice not a lot of touches, right, but some of his touches for Paul to be effective. You can't just have Paul come down there and be a decoy and let James hold the ball for the whole entire shot clock. He's got to learn how to play off the ball and let CP3 come down there and run a little bit of offense to get him some better looks to make them a better team overall.
All right.
And I kind of feel the same way. Yes, James Harden's going to have to sacrifice a lot because now you have an all-star player with you, and now you're going to have to learn to play together. I mean, yes, you'll be a much better at the 2 guard as you normally are, because that's what your position is. You are a 2 guard, so you are a shooting guard. So I feel like you coming off screens, getting open, I think you'll play a much better game than you holding the ball and creating a turnover or basically losing us the game. Because, I mean, he cost them the game last year in game, I think, 6 or 7 against the Spurs, holding the ball and then coming up, taking a shot and get blocked by Ginobili at the end. Like, that's not an offense that you can't. That's offense that you can't run like that in order for you to get over that hump.
Right. All right. Well, look, that was our first second in the lane. Now, on the second in the lane, we're going to talk about all these basketball players making all this money. It doesn't make sense to me, but the contract and how everything's going out, you got guys like Tony Snell, 4 years, $46 million. You had guys like Middleton last year, 5-year deal, $72 million. And you wonder, like, okay, guys are getting this kind of crazy money. Is that good for the league? Guys getting paid that kind of money? And because I know it's different sports between basketball and football and baseball, but you got guys now getting paid money that you don't really think that they're worth it, in my opinion. I mean, how do you feel about those kind of guys getting that kind of money?
I mean, I kind of feel pissed about it because, I mean, it's like I take the Cavaliers for ones like Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson makes like $80 million, and for like a 5-year contract, and he's really not an offensive weapon. I mean,
Right.
he's a good offensive rebounder and a good rebounder, but he's not a good offensive weapon to help put points on the board. And I mean, that's not help. That's just a rebounder. So I mean, he getting paid all that money for basically just rebounding. That's not putting points on the board. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it creates second shot opportunities, but it's still not putting that ball in the basket. You know what I'm saying? And then another one, J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith makes, I think he got paid about $10 million this year, and I mean he's really wasn't worth that. His shot is really falling off. I mean, yes, he had the injury, but I mean still he's not worth that type of money. He's not.
So with the luxury tax going up and everyone's payroll, the league payroll, the TV deal came in and gave everybody all this money. But with that being said, how do you feel about guys getting paid? Are guys getting paid off of, I don't know how to really say it, off of their worth or to fill a need? Is it necessary to pay guys that amount of money just to fill a need of a team? I keep going back to Chris Middleton, but he's a three-point specialist, but that's pretty much all he really can do. But he got paid almost $18 million a year. Tristan Thompson, he's a rebounding specialist. That's all he really can do, but he got paid basically $18, $19 million a year. Is that good for any team to go through, or should they go, let's per se say, start with the draft, like maybe a Warriors team, and hopefully you get breaks?
Well, I'd just like to start off by saying Tristan Thompson's contract, for example, let's use that as an example. He's getting paid $18-19 million to be a rebounder. And with guys getting paid money like that to do a specific role, it's making your average Joes feel that they're worth more than what they really are. It's making their value go up when you can find anybody to rebound. Really, all you need to pay somebody to rebound is about $8 million. They're paying role players like they're superstars, and they're paying superstars like they're megastars. Like they've already won you 10 rings. For example, Steph Curry, $201 million. That's more money than this man will ever need in his lifetime. Now, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out with the Warriors, because you got to sign Durant, Curry. You just re-signed him, but how's that going to keep the team intact?
Right.
You paid him a lot of money. How you going to keep them? Draymond, Klay Thompson. You got to bring back Iggy. I know you got Livingston back. What happens when these guys get older? Is he's still going to be worth $201 million down the road, 3 years from now? Is his ankle going to start acting up? It's just a little risky paying these guys that much money. Like Blake Griffin. He got $175 million, and the guy's as fragile as a piece of glass. He's missed 32 games every year. You can't make him your franchise player when he's missing that much time. You can't. I need somebody who's going to be there 82 games, if not 75. We're coming into a league where guys are taking nights off the rest, like LeBron. LeBron's getting a little older. It's okay. You see him missing a couple games, sitting on the sideline. That's getting normal now these days. It still gets criticized because guys like Kobe and Shaq are like, well, I played all 82 games. I didn't sit out. I didn't take no rest. It's a different era. These back-to-back games are killing them. You come off the airport, you just play the game in Phoenix. Now you got to travel all the way to Boston to play a back-to-back. It's all about what's going to get the league the most money, though, at the end of the day.
Yeah, pretty much. How you feel about that, Red?
I understand what you're saying. I just think that it's wild, man. I mean, like you said, superstars are getting paid like megastars, and it's like it just ain't right, man. And I mean, I want it to be back to where it was. Like it's like, yes, pay your all-stars, yes, pay them, but these average Joes come off the bench. We don't need that type of money. They're not worth it. They're just not worth it. It's just wasting money, but investing your money into somebody that's an average Joe. And I mean, that's just, like you said, wasting money. That can't happen.
Oh, man, I got you. It's funny because in 97 and 98, Michael Jordan was the highest paid player in the league. And he was making $30 million a year for those 2 years. Both for 1 year deals, $30 million. And I know you guys didn't really know that, but back in my day, it was an outcry. People were like, oh my God, why is he getting paid that much money for 1 year? And this is the best basketball player probably on the planet Earth at the time, and probably the greatest that we've seen in our lifetime. So it's funny now because now you have, like you said, kind of like average Joes making like $22-23 million a year now. So it's kind of
Just
Be a role player.
Yeah.
Just coming off the bench, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do it myself, but I mean,
We all would.
I mean, it's too much, man. You come off the bench giving me about like 5 points, 2 assists, 5 or 6 rebounds, and that I'm paying you $24 million a year, huh?
It really shows up in the biggest moments, like Tristan Thompson in the finals. Stephen Curry almost averaged a triple-double, and Tristan Thompson's the biggest guy on the court.
Right.
And you paying him to get rebounds, he's not giving you those rebounds.
Yeah.
And when you pay your role players that much, you really can't do anything outside of that. And then you try to trade your role players, nobody wants to take on no bigger contract like that. That's why Tristan Thompson's still there, because you can't move him. All he does is get rebounds. They got Zaza Pachulia out there paying him little to nothing, and he's getting more rebounds than Tristan Thompson.
That's right. That's crazy. Well, it was crazy because Blake Griffin got a 5-year, $173 million. And at that time, he was the highest paid player in NBA League history. That lasted 5 minutes. Steph Curry is now the highest paid player in NBA history. 5 years, $201 million. Added up, it's about $40.2 million per year. Insane. Like I said, Jordan averaged 97, 98. In 97, 98, he averaged $30 million a year. And now you got guys like Steph Curry averaging $40 million a year for a 5-year deal contract. I want to know your thoughts on Steph Curry being the highest paid player. And do you see someone else getting there pretty soon?
My feeling on Steph, I kind of feel like he deserves it. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not a Stephen Curry fan, but I kind of feel like he deserves it. He got 2 MVPs. He has 2 rings. And he came to Golden State. He's one of the best three-point shooters that we ever going to see in the game. So I kind of feel like he deserves it, but it's kind of like, I understand you're a superstar, but you don't really need all that money. That's just out of control. I mean, yes, you are one of the top 3 players in the league, but I mean, that's just out of control. That's $201 million. That's $44 million guaranteed a year. That's a lot of money. And I mean, yes, with the salary cap going up, yes, you deserve that money, but it's kind of too much. I mean, like, you are like a second option now with Durant being on your team now. So you're not that first option anymore, Stephen Curry. I'm sorry about that. But it's nice. It's nice. I like it. And like I said, he deserves it. But to be honest, and my standpoint, no, he really doesn't. Because I'm just not that type of person to give that person like that a big contract like that.
Right.
Yeah.
How you feel about Steph Curry getting paid all that money?
I'm agree with you, Red. You're right. He's the second best player on his own team. Durant can do everything Curry can do, but better.
Right.
He can shoot better. He can play defense way better. And you know the man can lead the team way better. They paid him $201 million, Curry. I feel Durant is worth more than Curry.
Right.
And I feel LeBron, if he wanted to, could get way more than that. LeBron right now is the greatest basketball player in the game right now. He's physical dominant. His leadership is unmatched. And when he steps on the court, you feel his presence. You know LeBron is in the game. Compared to, you know when Curry's there, you watching the three-point line. You don't expect Curry to drive in and dunk on you like LeBron will. LeBron will power through you and physically take over the game. You will feel his momentum. But LeBron, he's not going to sign a no locked-in 5-year deal like that.
Exactly.
He's smart.
Right.
He likes to play the market. He likes to sit on those 1-year contracts, see who can give him the most money on a 1-year basis. Because if the team falls apart, we know LeBron's jumping ship.
It's that choo-choo, all aboard.
just let y'all know, sports fan, LeBron ain't jumping ship. And if he does, he's no longer a fan of mine. So, no.
Stop lying, Ray.
If LeBron jumps ship, he's never going to be a Devontae Brown fan again. Sorry. I'm just sorry. If he leaves, it's over. Either you in, yeah. So, LeBron, if you ever watch this video, if you leave, that's it, son. I'm not jumping ship with you. I did in the Miami days, but now you back. You did what you supposed to been did, But if you leave again, it's done. I'm sorry.
So we can expect you in the Heat jersey 2018?
Nah. I got my Cavaliers shirt, and I'm sticking with my Cavaliers shirt.
Well,
like that.
speaking of LeBron James, because there cannot be an NBA episode without mentioning LeBron James, who is the greatest player in the game. My thoughts is the state of Cleveland. We all saw the finals. We all know they got beat 4-1. And we all know they kind of were outmatched in about 3 of those games. Had a chance to win Game 3. Should have won Game 3. And they had to be straight up perfect to win against the Warriors in Game 4. That being said, still only won by 18 points, being perfect against that team. They tell you how crazy good the Warriors actually are.
Right.
But if you're Cleveland, talk for just about a minute or two. What do the Cavaliers have to do to get over the hump? Because they see no other team but the Warriors. But with the West getting to where it is now, they're not just seeing the Warriors. Any team that makes it in the Western Conference Finals and actually wins it, who goes to the NBA to represent the West, it's going to be a challenge because, let's be honest, there is no competition for the Cavs in the East. So most likely they're going back to the finals. But my thing is, what do the Cavs have to do to up the ante against the Warriors, or per se any West team they beat in the finals, whether it's the Spurs, Warriors, or maybe the Rockets?
Well, first thing is we have to upgrade the bench. The bench has to be upgraded because we have to have some type of productivity from the bench. We have to have some type of scoring, rebounding, assists, playmaking, and also too, we have to get a better facilitator. I really think that we need somebody that come in that can back up Kyrie and be a very good facilitator and be the floor general. And also too, we need somebody that needs to get on the block.
Right.
We need to get somebody that need to bang up in that paint with Draymond. Yes, Draymond, I'm talking to you. We need somebody to bang your ass up
Right.
in the paint and let you feel that presence down low. Because, I mean, basically, Love is not doing that. He basically Love just sitting in the corner, knocking down the three. If he knocked down the three, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's really just giving you a free opportunity just to freelance on defense, and you're not really playing on defense on Love because Love is not really going to get the ball. So we need somebody that's a very good post player that can make plays in the post.
Yeah, okay. Well, we all know that they are so far over the luxury cap, it's ridiculous now. So they can't sign anyone. They can sign someone to the middle of exception, which is $5.2 million. And the only thing they can do is sign people to the minimum, which will not affect the cap.
Right.
After that, they are pretty much done with when it comes down to signing players. So my thing is, what do the Cavaliers have to do to get over the hump to contend with the Warriors? Because that's the only team they're looking at. So what's up, Shelly?
First off, Cavs need to come in and need to play really good defense. Not just Game 3, Game 4, when your back's against the wall. You need to come in from get-go and kind of hit the Warriors in the teeth. Let them know you're playing physical every game. Don't give up no easy buckets. Lock down and don't allow that outside shot.
All right.
And the way they run their offense, Love is in the corner because that's where LeBron wants him. Everybody said, oh, Love's better than Bosh. But Love is just Bosh 2.0. Love, before he came to the Cavaliers, would get down on that block. He'd get in there. He'd lay it up. He'd maybe dunk sometimes. But he'd get in there. He'd get in that paint. He'd get nasty with you.
Yeah, that's what we need.
You know, LeBron and Kyrie play iso ball.
Right.
It's kind of hard to have Love go on that block when LeBron doesn't want nobody in there. Kyrie doesn't want nobody in there when he drives in because he doesn't want nobody to pull no help defense and he can't get his shot off.
Right.
They got to be open-minded about how they're going to run their offense and get Love more involved. Because unless you move Love off your team for another piece, you're stuck with the same team. You overpaid JR, you overpaid Tristan Thompson, and they have not shown up for you. You got to stick with what you got and change up how you play because they got talent. You got the best player in the world. You got LeBron James. You got one of the most dynamic scorers in this game, Kyrie Irving, who could drop 40. And Love, if you let Love play like you did in Minnesota, he's a damn good third option. You got to let him get on that block. That's how you beat the Warriors. If you notice, they have everything but what? A center.
Yeah.
They do not have that rim blocking big man that's 6'11", 7 feet tall, to just sit there and, block you from getting to the
That's
paint.
kind of been our LeBron James team since he's joined the Heat. That's kind of been the team. Like, there's no really physical man. I think the most physical they had was Chris Birdman, pretty much, and he wasn't really big. He just blocking shots.
Yeah, the biggest center that they had in Miami was Joel Anthony and obviously Chris Birdman.
Yeah, Joel was like 6'7" in real life.
Joel Anthony wasn't a good piece at all. And I mean, but obviously, yeah, you're right. We do need to play better defense. That's the only way we're going to have to be able to contend with the world. We're going to have to play defense. We can't be leaving people wide open. You can't just let nobody just kiss the rim. Just, you feel what I'm saying? Come on, man. No, play defense, man. Switch. You got to call your switches because if you don't, somebody's wide open.
Right.
I've seen it too many times. The last 3 years I've been watching the finals. Somebody's wide open. Why is this person wide open? So just communicate, play defense, and play at a high level. I mean, just think there is no tomorrow.
Right.
You can't never have enough scoring in the playoffs, so there is no tomorrow when you come up against the Warriors. So just play your heart out. Just go out there and just leave it all out there on the court. Just play.
Treat every game like it's game 7.
There you go.
Like you're playing to win or go home.
Mm-hmm.
All right, third, second in the lane. Quick answer. Winner and loser of free agency period right now. Winner and loser.
I would say the winner would have to be Stephen Curry's contract.
Right.
The $200 million, that's the winner. He got a lot of money. Loser, biggest loss, I would have to say the Jose Calderon joining the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's probably the biggest loss.
And basically similar, but Cleveland's basically the loser in your opinion because biggest winner and loser of the free agency period so far.
And my biggest winner would be the Houston Rockets.
Right.
They went big. They went big years ago, got James Harden. They went big again and got Chris Paul. That's 2 great combos right there. My biggest loser right now is the Boston Celtics.
Yeah. That's tough.
You didn't go for Paul George. You didn't go for Jimmy Butler. And it looks like you're not going to get Hayward either. What are you waiting for? You got to pull the trigger. If you want to get past the Cleveland Cavaliers, you got to pull the trigger.
What are the Boston Celtics thinking? Like, you got all those draft picks. And right now is the time to win because we see the East is so, like, outside when Paul George got signed by the Thunder, the second happiest team was Cleveland because they realized, okay, Paul George's out in Indiana. We have no worries. Our most worrisome team is Boston, and they can't figure something out. What's up with Boston?
I mean, I think Boston lost a lot. I mean, they're not going through what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first, that Paul George deal, I just don't understand why it didn't get done. I mean, if you want to get better, if you want to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, you're gonna have to do something. You can't just let deals just walk out like that. I mean, like you said, you want to be better. You want to contend for a title. You gotta pull the trigger on somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. We're gonna do quick. I'm gonna give you guys quick players and tell me if you agree with what they got, the contracts. If you didn't agree, we'll go with Tony Snell in Milwaukee, 4 years, $46 million. Do you agree with that?
I kind of don't. I kind of feel like he's going to come off the bench and probably get maybe like 6 points, maybe 3 assists,
right,
2 rebounds. I mean, he's not really a good, not a really good player. He's just a really good shooter.
Right.
Coming off the bench.
What do you think?
But they're going to get good value for that contract. That's a very, very cheap contract.
These days, yeah.
Like Joe Crowder's contract, or Jay Crowder for the Boston Celtics. It's a very cheap contract for what you're paying that man. And I feel like Snell's going to come off, bring you a little spark of energy, going to play a little defense, cause a little something. And at the end of the day, that's $46 million. This NBA, right now in this era, that's a very cheap contract. You get to dump it in a few years and not really be hurt for, let's say, paying somebody $100 million.
Right.
Now you kind of stuck with an average Joe.
Jeff Teague, 3 years, $57 million to go to Minnesota. How do you feel about that to be the starting point guard? They give away Ricky Rubio to Utah, and now they actually get Jeff Teague to sign it. How do you feel about that?
I kind of feel great about that. I mean, they did put up the trade for Jimmy Butler. They do have Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins,
right,
and now Jeff Teague. So now I feel like they can be able to almost contend for, just to get into the playoffs and see what happens after that.
Okay.
But I think they'll be able to contend, and I like the deal for Jeff T. 4 years. It's pretty good. He go start obviously, and I mean if he can play at a high level, they're gonna be a pretty good team to play.
Gotcha. Jeff T.
I feel that is a win for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And if you know who their coach is, you know he likes to play defense.
Right.
So expect a lot of good defense out of this young Timberwolves team. Like you already said, Red, they have Karl Anthony Towns, they have Wiggins, they just got Teague, and then they traded for Jimmy Butler. That's a nice four right there. And I expect them to show a lot of people something we haven't seen in a while. Minnesota back in the playoffs.
Right. It's been a long
Playoff.
time.
And may we say, sorry for you, Ricky Rubio. You went from being in the middle of nowhere to Minnesota to really being in the middle of nowhere in Utah.
It's not that far though. Well, it is kind of far still, but like both areas, yeah, it's in the
They
middle
put
of
them
nowhere.
in the middle of nowhere.
Oh man! And one more person, we got Patty Mills to sign a contract, 4 years, $52 million for the Spurs. How you guys feel about that?
Well, I kind of feel that's a pretty good contract. He's obviously starting point guard. Tony Parker's getting old, so I mean he has to be the man now since players are about to get retired from San Antonio, obviously, and I kind of feel like he's gonna live up to his contract. I mean. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter. I know that, and he can play some defense. And obviously, he has Coach Pop. So I mean, Coach Pop ain't no joke. I love the way Coach Pop coaches. I mean, I've been saying that for years. But even though I don't like the Spurs, but I like Coach Pop. And I mean, I feel like him in that system, it fits him. And that contract, he deserves it.
All right.
First off, I feel it's sad to see this type of era close in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
We see Tony Parker's career is going to be coming to an end soon. Ginobili, Tim Duncan already retired. It was such a fun time watching them all play basketball together. But it's nice to see this new era of Spurs with Kawhi and Patty and Danny Green and LaMarcus Aldridge. If he's still there, that one's up in the air as well.
Right.
But Papa's going to bring it all together. He's going to make it all work. This is a nice contract for the Spurs. Yet it gets on a cheap contract. It's not nothing crazy. Wait till Kawhi comes up. That's going to get crazy. Probably more than what they paid Steph with Kawhi because he's worth it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, this was a good contract, and this is going to be nice things to come from San Antonio.
I just need a quick yes or no. Andre Iguodala, is he a Warrior?
Yes.
No.
Oh, heard that. All right, y'all. Well, we got it, man. It's been a crazy free agency period. It's only been one day, and so much stuff has happened. Paul George going to Oklahoma City. We got Chris Paul going to the Rockets. We got all that crazy stuff. It's just, and it's not even over. It just started. Gordon Hayward is still the hottest topic now. Where would he go? Whether it be Boston or Miami, or does he stay in Utah? We shall find out about that, man. So, I got my man for Shelton Woods from Gaming Uneducated, and I'm Carlos Clayton from Uneducated Sports Talk.